If you're anything like me, you may have given your inventory management some serious thought, and if you haven't, maybe you should. Regardless, no matter how you deal with your inventory, I think this is probably the handiest solution to managing it. Before I go out mining crafts or crafting mines, I make a pit stop at this box, and I top off anything that I'm low on in my inventory. Like right now, I could use a couple more rockets. Let's grab some of them. You could use a little bit more food. Let's get some of them. Maybe I'm going to go build something. I need some scaffolding. Here we go. Now, because of this box, I don't have to go digging through all my chests to find what I need. All my important stuff that I always or often have in my inventory are right here in this box whenever I need it, and it automatically restocks. I'll show you how this works in creative. Come on with me. Here we are in my creative test world, and behind me here you could see a bunch of chests that represent just about the amount of stuff that you could find in this box over here. But who wants to go digging through all of this to get just a couple things when you could just at a glance see all your options right in front of you and grab whatever you need. Now the way this works is it uses hoppers feeding a trapped chest. That's the basis of it. You could use chests here, or I prefer shulker boxes, and you stock each one of these things up with all the different things that you're going to be putting in this chest. Now you may notice that I've got some stained glass panes here. That's because you don't necessarily have to fill up all of these slots, but you can. You know, like if you really like food, you can have more food. Or if you really love flying, you could stock more rockets in here. But the important thing to note is that you always need to leave something in the slot, or else it will fill up with whatever the unstackable item is. Oh, that's right. I haven't even talked about that. This system supports one unstackable item. I use beds, and you should too, because creepers are spooky. But anyway, if you don't want the slot to refill with a bed, you need to leave something in it. So that's why this is a trapped chest and not a regular chest. You may notice that this door is opening up. That's because trapped chests will power every block next to it, which is how these hoppers keep from feeding the chest while I have it open. If you notice, it's not feeding anything until I'm done. So I can do all my work, pick out all the things that I want, and then just leave it filled with something in the slots. There, you can see the scaffolding is filling up. We got 20 in here right now. Close it up. It's feeding, it's got 26. Now, at least for me, the unstackable item needs to be here. That's how it works on the server, and that's how it works here. But for you, it's possible that maybe it'll tend to feed from one of the other hoppers. I don't know if this is affected by north-south relationships, and I'm not going to look. So it's super easy. Just put your hoppers where you want them, test to see where the beds come from, and just move the beds to wherever you need to put them. Now, you don't have to put all these items in here, but these are the ones that I find extremely handy. You know, everything on the left side is stuff that I tend to keep in my inventory at all times, and the stuff on the right are stuff that I either keep in there sometimes, or maybe I just need it at a quick grab for some crafting. It's completely up to you what you want to put in these things. So the other secret behind this is that these hoppers are filled with one item type in each slot. So this row, I've got beds, rockets, ender pearls, food, torches. And I've got that same pattern repeated through all the hoppers below them. On the top row, I've got scaffolding, sticks, planks, cobblestone, and stone. And I've got the same thing repeated through those hoppers. Now, I've got one little sneaky hopper back here, and it has nothing feeding it. It's just the hopper. And in this one, I like to keep these things. There's stuff that I don't grab a lot of. I just sometimes need them just for a quick little top off. Like if, I don't know, maybe if I died and I need to grab an arrow, I'll grab one arrow for my infinity bow. Or like if I decided to leave an ender chest somewhere, I want to top off on ender chests, I can grab a few of them, but they're not going to get used up fast. So one hopper back there, easy to do. I don't have any redstone on it, but the rest of the stuff does have redstone. And the purpose with the redstone behind it is so that it will alert you when one of these shulkers is empty. Because what happens is if one of these shulkers goes empty, is it can cause its hopper slot to go empty, and when that happens, you get the wrong item feeding into it. So this redstone behind it will tell you that you need to come restock this machine. Now, I'm not going to do a block-by-block tutorial because this is really simple. Everything is exactly the same for every box. You just need a hopper facing this way, filled with all of these items. I like to keep it the same order that these shulker boxes are in on all of these hoppers for each level. Alternatively, you can use filler blocks, but you have to make sure that either you put a full stack of filler items in there or you alternate filler items. So like an iron nugget here and an iron ingot here. So that way they won't stack down the line. Now you also have to make sure that these are filled up the same way here. And now the redstone in the back, how that works is that this comparator is reading what is inside this shulker box through this block. And you actually could, if you were in a tight space, you could remove this entire wall completely and just have the shulker box right up against the comparator, but that's no fun. It makes it really hard to place the shulker box later. So I would recommend having this wall here and then comparator, block, torch. So what happens is if this goes empty, comparator turns off, torch turns on. And you can see I've got a couple torches on. So let's see what's going on inside these boxes. This one, nothing. The other one was this one, rockets. So if we had stuff in them, you'd see the lower torch would turn off. And if we had refilled this one, the upper torch will turn off. So what happens from there after the torch here at the end, if that one was empty, we would turn on this line here, and that would deactivate this torch here. Note that I'm using a target block here to grab the signal off of this bottom line. If this were another block away, you wouldn't need a target block to pull the signal. For instance, if it was in this direction, you wouldn't need to do that. So any of these torches turning on will deactivate this. So then if this torch turns off, that turns off this line, which then allows this torch to turn on, which turns on the lamp and opens the door. Now, you don't even need a door. You don't need any of this stuff. You don't need the lamp. You don't need the button. It's just this whole section here that's important. But you can make it fancy with a door and a lamp if you'd like. And if you really wanted, you can add some noise to this. So, like if you wanted a bell to ring, you could make yourself a nice little annoying bell. And it'll tell you, you got to come in here and restock. Now, this setup doesn't tell you which thing is out of stock. You just kind of have to go through and see. I mean, if you wanted to make a little tunnel, you can come back here and see which torch is on and just come in and refill it, and that's it. And then it shuts up. I think that's pretty much all there is to it, though, guys. This is pretty simple, and I'm sure you could easily find a way to fit it into your base somehow. It's a pretty adaptable system. I never ever go a day without using my handy dandies box, and I don't think you should either. So build one of these in your base right now. You will not regret it. And please share this with everybody. I think this is something that everyone should have in their base. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell, I don't know, your cat. And subscribe if you haven't. I would love your company. Thanks for checking this out, guys. I'll see you next time.